Okay, back to the flywheel. Just get that flywheel on there for the last time. Do have a little oil, a little grease on yonder, not much, just a little bit. And bring that around, put that in there, and as you can see, it slides on that pin very easily. But I'm gonna put that little keyway in there just to hold everything tight, because I will fit. I'm gonna fit that another keyway to this flywheel for the reason that to set this distance correct here, and to have 100% or as close as I can get it contact on the top and the bottom, especially with some I'll probably use some lamp black, some soot. It works pretty good. A layout fluid works okay, even to a felt pen. But you do want, when you're fitting that key right there, you want some contact all along the bottom and all along the top right there. If you have contact in any place, especially this end down here, if this is thicker than this up right here, the results will be that broken hub in yonder. So and if it's thicker out here, then you tighten up out here on this part, and it kind of ends up like a wedge, more or less. With the long taper, it's a wedge system, but it's a long. You have more, instead of it just wedging right there, then the whole thing becomes a contact wedge. Oh, that wasn't a very good explanation, but anyways, look it up. It's in the book. So I won't do this on camera because it is a time-consuming job. Also, probably should to clear up a couple of things and not let nothing amiss if possible. I did go ahead and locate some new bolts for that breather right there. I say new, original, with the same patina as the engine. Got those shiny ones gone. So we got that good to go. We won't have to come back to that again. And the only thing that did when I drilled that hole in this collar out here to start with a new unslacked hole, all it did was it moved that oil hole from being on the top around this way about 3/4 of an inch. Actually, it's easier to get to. It's in the line of vision, and a new owner wouldn't miss it this way. But anyway, it works. And the point here is we want these engines to run very good, very well. And sometimes I could have welded that hole up and then re-drilled that hole. Yes, I could. There's several ways. It's just cast iron. Could have been put back original, not original, repaired as to original position. Could have been done that. But in a home shop, most of the people that has these engines, they only have one, two. They do. The shed will be full, but most of the time it's just one of any given brand. And a lot of younger mechanics, hobby mechanics, don't have the welding facilities. So some of the things that I do, is just kind of to show that it can be done with just a hand drill. Actually, you could do that if you don't have a drill press or a milling machine. Not to spend too much time on that. Just you know that I don't talk very much, so don't want to use up all my talking here on one subject. So, and I've already, by putting this all together once, I know what thickness of shim to put in the front of that so that it will be positioned in that. Also, one of the reasons, the main reason the most important reason of all that I decided to drill that hole and not weld it up and put it back in the same place is the front of this collar right here. Let me get one. Here's one. This collar right here is the same as that in yonder. Okay, if you can see, do you see that wire pattern right there? It's right there. And there were one over here where that's been welded there. But it's right there. That's where that goes at, in and like that. Okay, there was quite a deep wire pattern right here and on the other side where that had been moving in and out. So when I drilled that hole, when I repositioned this, that moved that around. The wire pattern is here and here now, and this is on a new position. Also, putting all of these parts together off of different engines, when I put this on there and had everything tight and was inspecting it, I discovered that one of these that goes like this, and one of these shoe faces right here, this is the part that touches that, one of them was touching it before the other one, after I moved it around and got it to a even surface. So then what I done is I just took the file and rounded off the high one until it was the same level as this one, and now both of these fits that at the same time, and it pulls it out straight. With one of these touching, it cocks that collar a little bit when it goes out. So both of these, if you look down in yonder, both of these shoes should rest on that collar at the same time. No gap like that. It'll be very little, if anything. But I did that. I set that right. And it's definitely worth the time to do all of this. Will result in you having an engine that will last a very long time. So to put this all together is just goes on to this right here. Pull that back where you got some distance right there, and put that right up in there. Turn that around. I hear that train out there today. Been a while since I've heard that train. Actually, this is pretty easy to do if you're not trying to get it in position for the camera. Like that. And with that in there like that right there, now both of them touches at the same time, and then with that washer in there, it can't go back and forth like this. It's like I say, it's worth the time to do it. Now, in order to know where to tighten that up back there, then you come back to the front of the engine. These two pins, this one and this one, is supposed to be in a line like this right here in relationship to the engine, to each other, like this. You don't want it to be at an angle. So we put that right there, and that comes right there, just by eyesight. Now, you put this thing on here like this right here, right up there like that, and then looking at it sideways on the engine, it should be straight up and down, and then when you move it up and down, it don't bind. It wants to be where it's at. Well, maybe we can get a good shot of this right here. Coming back to here, once I tighten this up, then I'll go back up yonder and adjust that. But to explain it to you, I think we've got a good view on it here, maybe. To explain this to you, when that governor weights are all the way out, then when you come up like this right here, when that governor weight's all the way out and that goes over yonder, then the adjustment on this, let's let that go free. When that's up at the top all the way over yonder like that, then this right here will be like 3/32, some amount taller than this pin. You want this adjustment on the governor to have the possibility to make that bottom out. It's in the book. Okay, now let's go back to the rear, because that's right where I want that. So okay, I don't want any interference with that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hold that right there, and this the other hand I'm turning the set screw, and that's one of the reasons that you run a tap in them holes and a die. Set screw's hard. Run a die in there and make sure that the set screw can be turned by hand, and the locking nut is free enough to where you will have to tighten it up in order to seat it. Okay, and with all that said, my set screw is very easy to turn. So as I tighten it up, what I'm wanting to do is to make that set screw tighten up on the flat, not on a round part. So and then with this hand up here, I'm working the front of this while that I'm tightening that set screw lightly. Okay, now I've got it tight. And thinking as I go, come back, and that's tight enough back there to hold that. And so I come back up here and put this back on here, and it's in a straight line, and it works very freely. So that means that this rod right here, you can move it forward or backward is what I'm looking at here. So that's where I want that at. Now it's time to tighten up the set screw. That's tight, and the adjusting collar if you don't think it's right, do it again. That's tight, and the collar is up there. And the lock nut is tight. And to work everything, it works freely. The books say to remove the springs from the governor. Unhook them. Just unhook your springs right here where they're free. And now at this point you can operate this governor freely. No restriction, to confirm that everything is free and works good. And that confirms that that pin in there is correct. So, can y'all see that? Maybe not. The whole amount of time that you are making these adjustments are to be made after the flywheels are tightened up. Now I do have this keyway tight over here, and I know I can look right in there and see that flywheel is up against that. So I do know that everything is where it's supposed to be when I make this adjustment up here. So with the flywheel weights out as far as it'll go, and the shoe against the collar in the back, is the point when you make this adjustment. Loosen this up, hold them fly weights out, and position this right here. Hold that in position. I'm trying to show you what's going on here, and when you see that right there, this is taller than that, so let's put these on here. Show you if we can see it. The little washer, spacer washer, and cotter keys. All free. Works really good. No restrictions whatsoever. And now the spring on this governor is enough to pull that down. Now that spring in there is the one that's operating the governor system now. So in order to know that it will slow your engine down to nothing, as slow as it can go with the governor system, is with that hooked up like that, then you come back here and move your weights out, and holding them like that, come up here and look at this, and make sure that little ear is bottomed out on that pin. Can't go no further. Bottomed out. And that's all they are to adjusting the governor. I'll set them cotter pins tight. Let's see, something else probably. Wow, usually don't talk this much, do I? But anyway, this is where we at, and let's sign off right there here on the east coast of Arkansas. Don't forget to hook up your, them governor springs back up. From here on the east coast of Arkansas, the show goes on.